3 o'clock, there will be about a horde of 20 people that want to come in, right? So, you know. Can't have them miss out. We good? Is it time? Hey, I'm live. Good enough. Okay. All right, awesome. Welcome. Thank you guys for Wednesday late afternoon to coming to the most interesting presentation you'll have all week. I doubt that. but hopefully I can give you some information, answer some of the questions that you came to get. Of course, afterwards I'll be here to answer any questions as well if you have any specific for you, on your specific path, to help answer any of those. And I also have my card up here you guys can take as well. So I am Carl Childs. I am Senior Manager of the Certification Development Team. I manage basically the certification program. Paul Sorensen is here as well. He manages all of education. He's Director over all of Education Services. If it's a really hard question, I'll send you to him. Just kidding. I'll answer anything I can for you, but he's also here. I just get this slot to be able to present for you. So I will be talking about the VMware Certification Program. I'll go through, let me show the agenda. I will go through the why we have a certification program in the first place. What's so important about it, right? What is it, the value it brings not only to us as a company, but to you as individuals and those of you who get certified. I'll go over the framework, talk about how it's made up, what the paths are, that kind of thing, the opportunities available to you. And then I'll get into some of the recertification and why that is. And in fact, that might be a little bit, I think I moved that down a little bit, but I will talk about that, the recertification, just maybe not in that order, it might have changed. And then I'll talk about our digital badging program and where that fits in, how that ties into certification, but what the value is behind our badging, and what are some of the opportunities that you have on there. And then with our Learning Zone, which is our library of digital assets that we have, our digital training, all of our on-demand stuff and our videos and a lot of our certification exam preps. I'll talk about that and how that comes into play as well and as an opportunity for you. And then I will make a call at the very end for anybody that wants to help develop. I'll explain just very briefly too about how you can help us develop these exams and participate as well for that. So VMware certification, so this is, and you guys know, certification within the IT industry, it's been around for a long time. I've worked for VMware, I worked for HP for a while with their certification, I worked for Novell way back with their certification, and even then, feels like a long time ago, even then it had a nice history to it, certification. So there was something to it, right? Something that brought value to not only companies but to the individuals for certification. There's a reason it's around. And what we found over the years, and this is from different third-party surveys from companies like IDC, in fact, one of the bigger ones, but Foot Partners and some different companies, is they actually quantitatively, they did surveys and went out and talked to a lot of people certified, did some different, talked to managers, talked to some of these people, but they found, I'm kind of going to sum up what's on here, but they found that it actually did increase the effectiveness of not only the individual, but how that company, how the individual actually contributed to that company, to their organization, to increase productivity, efficiency. It actually helped the skills. Of course, there's a personal benefit as well. It helped individuals, different in their career paths, right? It helped them progress on there. There's compliance things that it can help when that's in place for a lot of our, if anybody who works for partners in here. So there's a partner, well, no, not for many, okay. So there's a partner side of it as well for compliance that we have, but also depending on the industry you're in. Sometimes there's some compliance things there. So there actually is data behind it that, hey, certifications actually do better. They compared certified to non-certified and show that there was an increase, a higher percentage of effectiveness and productivity for those that are certified. So there is a real tangible benefit to certification. And of course, as you look at, especially as I talk to, and I'll talk a little bit about the VCDX, but I've been asking a lot of VCDXs, which is our top tier. I'll show you our very top tier certification, just what the benefit is of the process. Without fail, every one of them so far has said they've actually gotten more out of that process, of the things they've learned. Some of them have got great opportunities because of that. But even beyond that is that just that learning that they had of going through the process, as tough as it was hugely valuable to them. So there is some very strong key value to both the individual as well as their companies in getting certified. Which, of course, that's why you're here, right? I didn't need to go over all that. Which is why you're here. But that is, but we have there's the data to back that up. We did this year also to our own, this is with our own certified. That other data I was talking about, that's in general within the industry. Our community itself, we went out this last year and did a survey. And so just said, hey, how are you feeling about certification? You know, is it helping you? And you can see the results in here, actually very strong agree and strong agree. We lumped those together. And you can see, you know, has it enhanced your professional credibility? 97% either agreed or strongly agreed. Has it improved your productivity? 92% agree. Are you able to provide a higher level of customer service? Are you better qualified to handle complex issues? You know, 92%, 89% agree. Improved your earning power, 87% agree, and of course improved the process of your career, 92%. So from our own base, we wanted to see, so how does VMware certification affected you as an individual? Very strong positive back, which was good to see. We did suspect that, of course, because we know the value of certification, but it came in very high, a lot stronger, and so that was nice. And that was, we did get enough respondents back. It was nice to see that we did get enough responses back to have that statistically valid. So it was great to see some of that results from certifications. I'm not using my clicker, I'm using my hand. So the way our track is certified, who is not familiar with our framework? Okay, good. So let me go over this. And a lot of you are then, which is fantastic. We have 4 levels of certification, and we have these different 4 levels exist in 4 different solution tracks or areas. So we do break it up into, with certification too, we have, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit with badging, it covers a broader solution domain. So when you are being certified and being trained and tested on data center virtualization, it's not just a vSphere product, right? But it covers that domain. It can bring in different aspects of the underlying products and the different ones that tie to it. But we have that area around data center, which is primarily that. The vSphere is kind of the core of that. Network virtualization for the NSX stuff, desktop and mobility, which is our end user computing area. Things like Horizon as well as the AirWatch areas. Cloud management and automation, which is our cloud, our vRealize, that type of area. Within each one of those tracks, you have the 4 levels. VCA is really centered on that positioning. So use case. When is a certain solution appropriate? If there's a certain goal I need to make, right? What products do I use? It helps you to get that understanding. It covers that positioning there. VCP is really where it's more of the technical, hands-on, administrative piece. We start with the VCP and the advanced professional. The VCA is not required to go to VCP. The VCP is then required as it moves up the stack, because there's a little bit different job role, right, domain between those two, which is why. But you start out with the VCP, go up to VCAP, and then VCDX. The VCDX, I think the next slide shows a little bit more in this. This is for each of the tracks. This is the handout that's over there. If you get the slides afterwards, you can look up more at that. It's really hard to read on the slide, but please grab the thing there, and you can see the different requirements for that. There is a training requirement along the path to VCP. At the VCAP level, it splits. So it gets, depending on your role, there's a design focus, architecture focus, or more of still that hands-on administrative deploy. You know, you're building your environment, that type of focus. And you can decide, for those of you that get both, that's when you get to that higher level, the VCDX. The VCDX is what requires, you guys may have heard of this, requires you to submit a whole data center design, has to be approved, and then you stand in front of a panel of 3 other VCDXs, and you got to defend your design. You got to tell them why you build it, how you build it, what were the reasons you build it, justify all your decisions. It's intense. It's kind of tough, and it's hard to do. It's really the best of the best that get to that level, but it's something that I would encourage everyone to aim for, and that's the one that has both that deploy and that design skill set, their architecture, design background. So for every track that gives you you have the VCDX, the VCP, VCAP, and then VCDX that you can get through there. You have, who is certified here? Who has used Certification Manager? Have you guys used it? Gone into that portal yet? You have? Okay. So if you're certified, take advantage of that. It's actually a self-service portal. You can go in there, you can see your own transcripts. In fact, if you've taken training, it should show in there. If you have a MyLearn account, you can see the training, so your history. You can see your certifications you took. You can see when the VCP does expire. I'll talk about that. You can see when that date is, so you can keep that in mind. But it gives you all of that information, and you can manage your journey, your certification journey. So use that. It's actually a really, really fantastic tool to use. So if you haven't used that, do. Our website, I'm just going to walk through a few steps here to give you a little bit of a context. So when you go on our website, you'll know where to look as you're interested in what path to take next or where to start. So I've talked about the 4 different areas, right? The website represents that. This is the front page here. The website will represent those 4 different solution tracks. You click on the one you want. For instance, if you clicked on DCV, you'll get to a page where it does list the certifications. From there, you can choose. So I mentioned a little bit of the difference between VCA and VCP, where it's a little bit different role, right? You can see on here with associate level, it talks about who that really is appropriate for. What type of role is it that you're trying to certify on? What is it you want to be able to do, or what is it you're doing today? That will help define a little bit of maybe which certification is appropriate for you if you're just starting your journey. So, you know, for architects, if you are really looking at that design, that end all, you know, you do want to be that that solution designer, solution architect, your enterprise architect, whatever that role is. The associate level helps you do there, and you can see, for instance, the VCAP design is, of course, applicable for that. Or if it is more of that administrator hands-on, it gives you that guidance there. But if you select on the certification you want, then it starts to give you the details for it. Shows you the path that you can take. You can click on it. It actually expands. Underneath that path shows you the steps that you can take, has the links to the training, has the links to the exam that you can register for it. It's broken up into, if you're brand new or if you already have a certification and you're looking to upgrade, click on the existing candidate requirements, and that's the path for you. And there's different scenarios, right, depending on which certification you already hold. But it'll lay that out for you. So you depending on whatever you're at, brand new, existing, you know, you should be able to find where you fit and be able to find your requirements on there. From there, it goes into, as you click on one of those requirements, it'll give you additional information specific to that requirement. So this is one of the exam pages. So it'll tell you how long the exam is, how many questions you'll get, you know, which product specifically it's against. This is our new 6.5, one of our 6.5 exams. So it'll tell you exactly where or which products that you need to be aware of or up to date on, you know, have the expertise on. Within that as well, I didn't grab a screenshot of this one, but there are exam guides for every one of our exams. Within that exam guide, it'll list our blueprint or our objectives, which is the skills that you need to learn. Go through that blueprint. That is so important to go through that blueprint. Ask yourself, do I know this? Do I know this, right? Do I know this? Do some self-assessment on that. Make sure that you know what that objective is asking, if you're comfortable with that. That's the best way to really prepare yourself. And if you're not, of course, there's training. We recommend the training. That'll give you kind of that 3 or 5 day, right? That one instance of getting in there and getting some hands-on experience and learning the things. But as you're preparing for your exam, after your training, you know, we only retain so much from a week of training, right? After that training, as you're trying to refresh yourself and practice, within our exam guides, there's links to our documents, the different references that our item writers use to write the exams. So go to there, click on that. It could be a huge set, but look for the area that's specific to that objective that maybe you're, you know, a little bit weaker in, and refresh yourself there. So it's a really good, that exam guide becomes very, very important, very critical for you to get the right learning, the right training that you need. So more on so basically the exam, all the information there. Okay, so that's our current track. Talked very briefly about the overview, but I want to talk about really what's coming and what's new within each one of those areas. We have, I mentioned the VCAPs. We have, for these, are you guys, any of you VCAPs? Those of you that are certified? So you're a VCAP, okay, good. Design or deploy or both? Design, okay. All right, good. Which is what these ones are here. We've had just, it's about a month now, maybe just under a month. These new ones came out. We do have the new Advanced Professional for the design in 3 of those tracks, the data center, the cloud, and the desktop, the EUC area. Those are new. When was the last time, I'm curious, when was the last time have you taken the new one, or are you on the version before? Okay. Okay, yeah, we had a firewall issue with the event center. Okay, so the new ones, we have the new VCAP designs out, keeping those up to date. You'll notice, by the way, the version number, so the DCV is on 6.5, the cloud's on 7. We try to relate that to the product version, so there could be some discontinuity, you know, between the two, right? Stay up to date, but the product versions may still be different. That's why we have those version numbers on there. Yeah, talked about 3 new exam on those new solutions. We also have, I'll talk about recertification in a minute. I'll talk about this. Actually, wasn't going to talk about the slide, but since it came up, talk about it. We also have, for those of you who has taken, I know the 3 of you obviously have, anyone else taken an exam with us in the past? Okay. All right, a couple of you. Okay. So, whatever your experience was, we are working behind the scenes very hard to make that better. We've had, for instance, some of the interface issues with our design exams. Were a little bit tricky sometimes. Meaning it almost required you to learn how to use the interface more than answering the questions. We don't want that, right? We got rid of that. Using our subject matter experts, you guys, to help us develop exams, so we're really representing what's happening in the field today from people that are working in the field today, right? We're doing better at that. We're improving the exams. We have a new beta process that actually, our old beta process, just in a nutshell, sometimes it could take 6 weeks or more for you to even know your score. Right, that's done. That's gone away with. You get immediate scores now. So we're continuing to improve and adapt our exams to become better for you, to not only test better on the skills, to really psychometrically do better, to really test you, but also make it a better experience for you. That as fun as tests are, anyway, but a better experience for you when you go in to take those exams. We also have just launched this last week a new VCA. The reason this one's so cool, and I love this one, is our current VCAs, before this came out, were specific to those tracks that I talked about, right? The data center, the cloud, the NSX. This one here is based on the Cross-Cloud Foundation. It covers all those 4 tracks and brings them together. So as we're talking about, remember the VCA is that one that talks about the positioning, the use cases scenarios, right? It enables you to talk the talk. This is the one that's going to represent all of our solutions and how they work together. So it will also go down each one of those areas. It'll go down the vSphere and the vSAN area and kind of talk about that individually. Like, for instance, if you're taking the training and preparing for it, it will on the cloud, a desktop. There's also there's Horizon in there. It's not in the description, but there's Horizon as part of that as well, and the NSX. And then it also provides use case, okay, well, how do those all play together? How do they fit? So you better understand how our solutions work together and be able to speak to that. Be able to understand it, so when you are, back in your company and you're asked, this is what we got to do, what's the best solution for it? I learned that. Not only did I learn that, but I was able to validate that skill through this VCA. That's where I think this one's cool. It's that cross solution, our first cross solution VCA that we've released. Comes with, just like our past VCAs, if any of you have taken those, the training is free for that one there. It's online, it's video-based training, and it takes the 1 exam to get that one. But it's a neat one. And in fact, I know, we've asked a few people, I don't know if we're going to do this, but this might be required for even our highest level certification just because it's that cool. It's kind of that broad. Paul's like saying, yes, it will be. But it is, it's a good certification, a neat one. Especially if you're just starting your journey. It also enables you to, as you learn about those different areas, help you decide maybe which area to emphasize on as well, because it does give you that context. So this week, no, it's already Wednesday, if any of you are interested in taking exams this week, but we do have all of our exams available here at the test center. We have our, all the VCP, the VCAP, any online exam, you can take those anywhere, so we don't offer those at the test center since you could go to your hotel room and take the exam. But we do offer all the tests that you'd normally go to a Pearson test center. That's what we have here, is a Pearson test center to take all of those. We have also, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, we have 2 new badge exams. So I'm going to come back to that as I talk about our badging program. And then we also have our newest versions of our Deploy. That's the Advanced Professional for that hands-on administrative exam. Those are in development, will be coming out this year. I want to talk about keeping current. So I mentioned this, and I kind of went over it because I knew I'd come and be able to talk more specifically on this. For our VCP, there's a 2-year expiration on it, meaning that when you get your VCP today, 2 years from today, you need to take another exam, somehow keep that current. Why? Why do we ask you to do that? Right? That's kind of one of the key questions. Why is that important? It is one of the things that our certifications show, and one of the reasons why we have versions on them, is it shows that you're relevant, you're up to date, you're current. that you're able to go into, whether it's inside your organization, if you're in a customer-facing role, and you're talking about and showing that you're certified, right? It shows that you're not, that it's been 5 years since you got certified, but you are relevant today, that you're up to date on the most current versions. It shows that you are working with and continuing to learn, right, and keep up to date. It's important that way. It also shows, this recertification also enables you to see what is my next step. We often get the question of, I'm certified in this, now what? What should I do next, right? What's my next thing? How do I continue to stay relevant? The recertification path gives you that step, that path. And which I kind of said already, it shows the value of you as an individual, how you contribute by staying current, right? Staying aware of what the latest is, being current on there. There's value in staying relevant there, and we want to provide you an opportunity, or we want to provide, I guess, a mechanism in order to help that engagement. It helps us as a company to make sure that we have people out there that are current, which is why it's more of that stick. But it also helps you, which is the carrot, it also helps you as an individual that you are continuing to be relevant, continue to engage. Not only that, but we can continue to communicate to you. We have your latest and provide you the latest on there. There is, and so the recertification, so for every 2 years, and by the way, which is the point of this, the upgrade pass, it's always a single path update. It's not a double exam, that kind of thing. If you let your certification expire, it gets harder because you have to repeat some things. It may be more than one exam and repeat training. Keep current. It's always a single exam. It becomes easier to stay current than it does to start over. And so to get recertified, if you're already certified, it's the single upgrade exam and you're there. If you do expire, remember this slide here, then it requires more again of you. You have to determine where you want to go, I guess, start over, but it does require the training again. It does require the multiple exams to get certified. So if you stay current, you skip 1, 2, and 3. You go straight to 4. That's kind of what the emphasis of this slide is. Stay current. Don't let it lapse. It really is easier. Even if you get your VCAPs, we recommend to stay current at the VCP level. VCAPs don't expire, VCP does, but stay current. It may hurt you in the future. There may be a direction, maybe a VCAP in a different track. And if your VCP is expired, you kind of have to start over again to get that VCAP then in a different track. So stay current. It's going to be much more beneficial to you down the road as you progress in your career and your path. So, and again, these slides are in here a little bit more for reference, as you can get them later. This just gives you the pass, the upgrade pass, but it's it's the one single exam from any track where you're at to the new one, the next level. And there are, by the way, we give really there's 3 ways to recertify. So think back to that track again. If you're a VCP, you can either update to your next version of VCP, so from 6 to 6.5. You can upgrade to VCAP, we've been talking a lot about, so go to the next level. That will reset your expiration as well. Or you can go to a different track. So if you're a VCP in your data center and you want to do NSX, your NV, you can get a VCP in that, and that will reset the clock for all, no matter how many VCPs you have, it will reset it for all of them. So if you do some activity, one of those exams, within the 2 years, it resets for all of your VCPs. It'll continue to roll over. We are also looking at ways that we can add other activities in there to help extend that recertification date. So we'll announce those as we can get those out to help make that easier, to help keep you relevant, but also make it a little bit easier for you. Because 2 years, we know 2 years can be hard. 2 years goes by really quick, really fast. We know that. We know that. We know it can be really hard. So we're looking at other ways to also help extend that and to keep that going. Just this is more of an FYI, again, a reference slide that you can have in the slide deck if you have any of those certifications or we're looking at those. Just beware, these are the older versions. We do have expiration dates set for those through to the end of the year with the VCA, since we have the new one out, as well as the older design ones. So we have the new versions out. Okay, so badges. Who in here, who's aware of our badges, digital badges? Okay. I know you are, Paul. Okay, a couple of you. Okay, good. Excellent. So I get to tell you guys about them. Not many of you know about them. Badges are exciting. Badges are, it's a digital, on the surface, it's a digital emblem that you can share, right? You get a badge, it's kind of cool, you'll be able to put it to your LinkedIn and share it out, right? but there's a lot more behind it than just that. There's a lot more meat to it. It contains, not only is it easily shareable, but just like a certification, it does validate specific skills. Our badges focus in a little bit more. I said that certifications cover that broad solution domain. Badges give an opportunity to now deep dive, get a little bit more emphasis on certain areas. So it allows you to really focus in those places where we don't have a certification to deep dive. vSAN is one of our recent, or vRealize Operations is two of our recent examples, that we have on that. Emphasize on vSAN and show your expertise specifically with vSAN with this badge. When you get the badge, then, of course, it does enable you to share it, but it also gives you, oops, wrong button. Here's the page, by the way, so it shows, just right here, it gives you the path, just like on certifications, there's specific criteria to earn, right, the specific badge, and it lists that. When you share the badge, if you share it, like for instance, you share it to your LinkedIn profile, you have, your boss comes out and says, or your boss's boss or whatever, someone in your organization, or say you're customer facing, probably a better example, you're a customer facing role, and you're showing, as part of your proposal, right? You're showing, hey, I'm certified, and this is what I do. Click on my badge, take a look, this is what I am. If they click on it, they can go back and they can actually see exactly what you went through to earn that, and they can look at the detail in there. For you as an individual, when you click, that badge is linked to dynamic market data. You can actually go out there and see, the badge is meta tagged with specific skills and those topic areas that it covers, which is mapped then to this market data to show you what, not only the job openings, which may or may not be relevant, but also how important are those skills out there in the market, right? How important is it the fact that this badge has value? Why does it add value? Because the specific criteria that you learn maps back to what people are looking for in the industry. So, and this is cool, and this is dynamic. Like I said, you can, every day this could possibly change and move and stuff for your one badge, but gives you a lot of data. To me, that's very, very powerful. I really think that's a cool thing. So the badge is more. It's a way for you to be able to share your accomplishments immediately. We do give badges for our certifications. So there is a one-to-one relationship. There's different types of badges. Certification, when you earn a certification, you can share your badge to show that certification off and have that same data. But like I said, we also give other types of badges, which is more of that deep dive, to show some of those specific skills as well, to enable you to further your expertise. Those are the type of activities we're looking for including in other areas like recertification. So we also, as a certification organization, as an education group, of course want to offer you the best ways to prepare. And we know that going to a class isn't always feasible, right? And sometimes some of us learn even better on our own. The Learning Zone is, like I mentioned before, is our way to introduce all of our digital assets to you through an easy way to access. And for those of you, has anyone here gone to the Learning Zone? Okay, a couple. Okay, you'll be encouraged to know our interface is improving. In a little bit, it's going to be much easier to find and get the right access to the right assets that you need. Our Learning Zone is really, see there, 24/7 access. It's your online access to all of our digital assets, video training, on-demand courses, certification, exam prep, it's training specifically meant to prepare you for a specific exam. It goes through every objective of that exam from an expert and prepares you for that. It's searchable by topics. It's searchable by products. It's searchable, keywords, right? That meta tags, so that you can find the right training, that right asset that's appropriate for you, where you want to look. You have access, depending on which license you have. We do have a free trial section, so you can go in there and you can even just take a look around and get a sample of what's in there. And there's some really valuable stuff. That VCA that I talked about is all in that free trial section, all of the training for that. And then you have a couple other, well, three other license. As you have the standard, of course, offers you access to some more of there's some basic troubleshooting area in there, some of the more standard type of training. Premium offers you broader access to that. It really offers you access to kind of more of those advanced topics. And then the certification exam prep, I think I have a slide that shows the definitions of those again. The enterprise includes all of that, plus the certification exam prep, allows you access to all the on-demand courses. So the enterprise license is the one that gives you access to everything inside VLZ. I think the next slide actually does show. Go from there. We'll come back to this one. Here we go. This is what I wanted to get to. Okay, so here you can see the differences. Just bring that up. The differences between the two, there are the three different, well, four, I guess, different packages for there. The free trial, your video, your standard license includes, you get the trial stuff plus the other videos. Your premium includes the exam prep. It does include exam prep? The premium, okay. So the premium does include all of the exam preps, that comes with that. And then your enterprise includes everything, plus your on-demand courses. So it builds up that way. So as you go in there, look at it, you can see the assets in there, and you can determine which license is appropriate for you. I'm going to go back. So I wanted to highlight on this today, or this slide right here. These videos, if you look on here, it talks about the short focus videos. So the on-demand emulates the course, right? They're longer, they're bigger, and there's a lot in there. We also have everything from, I don't know what the shortest video is in there, but a few minutes long, up to 30 minutes and maybe 60 minutes long, but they're short, very topic-focused, on-demand. I use that word, maybe that's not the right word to use, but you know, at hand, right, videos. Free to access, and as they're meta tagged, you look for that specific topic, and again, it brings that up for you. The certification exam prep, like I mentioned, we have experts, people that are certified experts in that area, go through objective by objective and explain it. Say, this is what you need to know, this is important. Some of them give you even example items. You know, say, hey, here's a practice item. You know, hurry and take it. You'll come back and you'll kind of walk through it. So they're great ways for you to prepare for your exams as well. Primarily the VCP exams. But take advantage of that, self-study, and all of those digital assets with VLZ. And this was just an example here. In fact, Francis is here somewhere. Around, you can see the interface there to get access to those trainings. Okay. Let's get through that again. Okay, I can really talk through that. Okay. There's the information. So use these slides as you get them later for a little bit of reference too on those exam preps, some of those areas. Okay. I talked a little bit about value as well. Again, on demand, if the training is hard to get to, and or you know the training is hard to get to, you can take those in chunks through the learning zone. Very modular. Okay, so this is my last call here for you. So industry standard processes of developing certification exams. You may or may not be familiar with this. We use some companies, but very, very few of them use people inside their companies to write these exams, and that's it. Most companies, including the big ones that you know of, Microsoft, Oracle, right, Adobe, whatever, all these other companies, including VMware, uses, Cisco, all these companies, we use, Dell, EMC, I can't forget them, uses experts from outside of our company. Because we want to create exams that are relevant, that are real world, right, that are relevant to the jobs that you're doing now, but also at the right level. Being within VMware, sometimes you get a little bit of that, right? That siloed effect. We may think something is happening or think that you're staying in one area, but the real world may not be that way. We don't want that. So we bring in subject matter experts to actually help us not only write the exam items, but also help us determine what's the scope and what's the right level of that exam. Where should we be testing? And so we have an opportunity. You can see the link there. It's a bit.ly link. But if you go there, you have, and you can even just email me. I got my card up here if you're interested. We'll get a little bit more information from you if you're interested in helping to learn a little bit more about you. What are you experienced in, right? What are your certifications? Where is your expertise today? Complete the required documentation. Part of the SMED program, our SMED community manager will reach out to you and say, hey, we have these opportunities coming up. We're building this exam, or we're building this exam, or we need to have your help in this area, right, to help us determine it. It's your opportunity to come and help be part of that. We're looking especially for people outside of VMware. We want that. We want those people. It's easy to get people inside the company. We want those outside the company to come help us. Sometimes they're virtual and we just do it over the phone and different, with conference calls. Woo. Sometimes we do it in person. Just depends on the exam and where we're at. But we would love to have you. And if you do help, you get credit for the exam. It's as if you took it and passed it. You get credit for that exam. So on whichever one you help with, which in any one of those areas. So please, if you've written that link down, or you can just email me and I'll get you the link and you'll be able to help us out. Got it? Picture. Okay. Okay. And as you know here, I think we know too, there's, we're doing testing here. If you don't have a chance, the different links, you can talk to any of us here, any people at the booth, ask us specific questions as well, and we can help you out. I think that is everything on that slide. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Please come up and ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have right now as well. Yeah, Q&A.